Front of the ANC have been arrested, people like Edwin Sodi, for instance?
Well, I don't think that it's really like that. I mean, political parties from time to time pick up financial challenges because of the growing obligations or commitments that they may have. And things have changed now. You now have got the Political Party Funding Act. It is not because of our own reliance on this or that individual that our ability to run and operate the organization at a financial level is compromised, as you may suggest. You know, it is because of the kind of economic situation that we are now finding ourselves in. But I can tell you now that the TG is looking at various models, innovative ways of mobilizing resources, including crowdfunding, so that because, I mean, under these conditions, we ought to also change means and ways on how we do our own things. And we are confident that the kind of a fundraising approach that is being mounted, looking at the various innovative ways through which monies could be mobilized, will ultimately take the ANC out of the current quagmire that we find ourselves in. As it relates to the cutting of staff and all of that, I think that has got to do with the whole organizational design. You know, checking whether there are no redundancies, making sure that people you have well within your employ could be able to perform the sort of duties that you would require in the organization, and you will be able to also measure those against performance, so that you do not find yourself having people who are expected to, who are otherwise performing the same task. If can't this task be performed by one person where you have got 3 people and all of that? Simple example, where you have got your personal assistants of various comrades who could be in management and all of that. Can't you perhaps look at putting up a shared services so that you have got one unit that deals with your own administration, so deals with your own diaries and all of that, as part of improving on your own efficiencies and managing your own limited purse at the current moment?
The Political Funding Act be an attributing factor to the crisis that you guys are facing now? That you are struggling to find funds. I mean, the ANC is a huge movement, like you said. For sure, you guys do have those loyal funders that believe in your cause.
Well, of course. I mean, we do everything in our power to make sure that we address our own issues from time to time, fulfill our own mandatory obligations, whether it's your medical aids, whether it's your provident funds, all of those things. But like the point I've made, we are a big organization. And we are doing everything else, and I'm sure very soon, once we have been able to sufficiently address all of these issues, and through the TGO are prepared to then come out and say, these are the kind of steps that the ANC will be undertaking going forward to deal with its own situation, we'll be able to do so. I mean, our own provinces, our own regions, from time to time come in to effectively deal with their own situation at that level. Here at Lituli House, we do exactly the same thing. The national officials are equally seized with this matter and are doing everything else in their power to make sure that we could be able to move forward seamlessly. I mean, we now know the TGO has got the full appreciation and an idea of what is required to be able to run the organization year on year, including providing for elections. Because you must understand that the elections are also another budget item by themselves. You need posters, you need to, now under COVID, you need to make sure that you provide sufficient resources to mount a campaign on the various digital platforms, whether it's through your own artificial intelligence on Twitter on Instagram, on Facebook, WhatsApp, TikTok. All these need resources to be made available so that we could be able to reach out to the many people that believe in the African National Congress. And we can assure people out there that the ANC is still that movement that they can believe in and trust with governing them at various levels. So that's why we are I'm sure, unlike other parties, we always come out to account. Yesterday, we didn't have to wait. We issued a statement communicating that our own staffers will be going on strike so that we could be able to manage what has also become obvious leaks. There are those that are in the employ of the ANC. And most of those that leak information about late payments, I can tell you now on record, that it's mostly those that do not dedicate their full time to the work of the African National Congress. Those that are committed to the work of the movement rarely leak information to the media. The ones that leak information to yourselves, if we ask them, when last were they at work, you will be shocked. But the men and women who are committing their full time to the work of the organization rarely leak. Actually, those that commit their time to the work of the African National Congress don't even know your contact details. But there are those that have made it their job to always do, or maybe they believe they are embarrassing the ANC when they do that. They get given a notice, being told about the late payment of salaries. The first thing they do, they distribute that on social media platforms. Perhaps they thought that the ANC is scared to speak for itself on delayed payments. The ANC will always come out to speak and account to its own staff members. We do that all the time. So taking out information and thinking that you are embarrassing the movement, it's just a waste of time, because the ANC has got the ability to account and answer for itself. That's how a prudent movement it's supposed to run. We are not going to withhold information. If people are not going to be paid on time, they've got to be told. By the way, when people are not being paid on time, we too, as National Executive Committee members who are here, including the TG, are affected by that kind of a thing. We don't say, no, we will put ourselves first. Actually, we put our employees first. We put our staff members first. We always come last. O biditse batho moketeng o tseba gore mokete o kwa ka reng o thoma wena pele go ja ba lo ba memileng ba tle ba palle go ja a ebe bona pele. It's always them. So the little resources we get, we make sure that they first go to our own staff members who commit their time to the work of the African National Congress. That's how it works here in the ANC.
Pule Mabe is the national spokesperson for the African National Congress, and here's